Hey guys, Pharaoh here with League Top 10, and today we're going to be talking about Shyvana and the patch in general. First question, as always, is Shyvana worth it? Is she good? Is she worth the IP I'm going to spend on her? And you know what? I love Shyvana, so I'm going to say yeah. Now, whenever a new champion comes out that doesn't one-shot people, has no CC and no gap closer, people instantly assume it's bad and shuffle it off. So I disagree with that kind of mentality, and I think Shyvana is actually very strong. I've played her in lane and in the jungle. My jungling route it goes for a fast 6, so I do wolves, wraiths, double golems, pill, do blue, go all the way up to double golems, and then I gank a lane because I have double buffs and I'm level 5, close to 6. I feel like her jungle isn't the best. She doesn't power clear the way someone like Udyr does, and she doesn't gank as effectively until she hits 6. And she really needs to gank a lane with a stun or a slow to be able to do very much. But I feel like she has good map control and good map presence. You're able to counter jungle very easily because you have a perpetual movement speed increase. You can give your blue buff away to a lane because you don't have mana. You're able to do a lot of things that some characters just can't do. And that's, I think, a very good benefit. As far as actual top laning goes, I've played a couple games as top lane, and I do enjoy her top lane play. I feel like she can win lane against people that try and fight her, people that have to sit in melee range and auto attack you down, because the damage from her W is very strong. I don't think she can win against someone who tries to poke you down. If you have someone up there like Talon who can just, constantly rake you, then you're probably going to lose the lane just because you can't close the gap on them. If they have a slow, they can just poke you and run away. And you can out-farm them for sure, but you're not going to be able to beat them in a straight-up fight. I feel like the power tops are going to stay the power tops. Shyvana's not going to be one of the big, obnoxious top laners. But if she gets a preferable matchup up top, she can snowball out of control pretty easily. As far as late game damage, I feel like she doesn't do that oh my god WTF burst that a lot of people are looking for, but she does do a lot of damage if left alone. And she has a big impact on team fights, which is important. There's a lot more to team fights than just damage. And, think of her like Irelia. She has the same job as Irelia. She goes in there, she disrupts, and if people ignore her, then she'll kill them. And if they don't ignore her, she's tanky enough to stay in there, and she has the escapes to get away if she needs to. And that's saying a lot for her power level if you look at her from an objective standpoint, because if her and Irelia are supposed to do the same job, but Irelia has two different kinds of heals, true damage, CC, and an instant gap closer, and Shyvana has a movement speed increase, no heal, no CC, Shyvana's going to do more damage. Period. Or she's worthless. And she does do more damage. She does a lot of AoE damage, she does a lot of single target damage, and she provides an AoE percent armor reduction. And I cannot emphasize enough how good that is. Just so you know how it's really nice to get a Starks on your team? Well, imagine having Starks on steroids, and that's what Shyvana does. She will boost your team's damage output significantly just by landing her E. But, and that's all purely speculative. I think she's going to be very good. I think people are going to see that she's very good. But right now, I just want to tell you guys that I enjoy playing her. I feel like she's strong. I feel like she can do a lot of work as far as team impact. And she does good damage despite the lack of tools in her kit. Okay? Now, as far as how I build her, jungle or lane, I have the exact same build because it's just very good for the kit. Wriggles, Heart of Gold, Wit's End, Triforce, Randuin's Omen. Mercury Tread's in there always. And you can 6th item is kind of a freebie. You can do like GA, Force of Nature, Banshee's Veil, Atmas. I don't like Atmas that late because I feel like her damage is good without the Atmas, but some people love it, so go for it. Blood Razor, I don't like Blood Razor. I know people who do. Again, personal preference. Warmogs is an option, but I don't like 6th inventory slot Warmogs because you need to farm it up. So that's always there. I know people that do Frozen Mallet over Triforce. I don't agree with that. I feel like she casts enough that Triforce is worth it. As far as runes and masteries go, I've done full offensive, full defensive, and full utility. I like the full offensive. I feel like it gives her very good presence as far as actual damage goes. But you can definitely get away with full defense or full utility. I might actually end up liking full defense more just because she needs to be tanky for the first part of the game. As far as runes go, I do flat attack damage, reds and quints, armor yellows, magic resist blues. Now you can definitely get away with, anything under the sun. As far as offense goes, you can do attack speed reds, armor pen reds. If you want to, you do magic pen, but that seems silly. You could definitely get away with movement speed quints. I could actually see recommending those eventually if I, try her out some more, see how I like her. But the one thing that I would say for Shyvana is that she's very, very, very level dependent. She needs to be able to level up quickly because she needs all of her abilities to do well. Her W scale, the speed increases with level. Her Q, the percent of her total AD that gets dealt on each hit increases with level. Her E, percent based armor, increases with level. You want all 3 of those skills, but you need your W. You need it. Need. Absolutely 100%. If you don't max your W, you're just going to get kited around forever and there's nothing you can do about it. So max the W. As far as her ultimate goes in the Fury system, I feel like they could have just gotten away with not using Fury at all. They didn't have to call it Fury. They should have just given it a new resource system because it works completely differently from Fury. If the point of the resource system changes was to normalize it, to make it easier for new players to understand, this kind of just throws a curveball at anyone who's new to League of Legends. It's like, yeah, so this guy uses Fury and it deteriorates over time, and this one uses Fury and it deteriorates over time, and this one uses Fury, and none of her abilities cost any Fury, and it just goes up over time. So yeah, have fun with that. Like that's hard to understand as a player who's new to the game. As far as actual where she fits in, I've already said I like her as a jungler. She would be more of a control map presence kind of jungler. Give her an oracles, have her go ward sniping. She's going to be very hard to deal with. But she's not the best ganker. Top lane, I could see her fitting in there. Bottom lane, she'd get walked on. Mid lane, she'll probably get walked on. Just to put an end to the Shyvana first impressions, I like the character. I think she's fabulous. If you don't, that's fine. I mean, she does good damage, and she does good AoE damage, and that's a really important thing in this game. But I could see where you're coming from when you say, she's bad, because there's some things about her that could really use some work. This has been Farah with League Top 10. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and the Summoner Synapse that I owe you guys from Monday will be going up later tonight.